Stop. Put the phone down for a second. Notice the empty screen. Feel that tightness in your chest, the one that shows up when her reply doesn't come. Something shifted, and you didn't even see it happen. You tell yourself that if you're patient enough, kind enough, and present enough, she'll stay. You believe love works like a moral exchange. Give enough goodness, and loyalty will be returned. But reality tells a different story. The agreeable men are overlooked. The men who bend are parked in the friend zone. The ones willing to sacrifice everything earn the least respect. Why? Because nothing valuable begs to be chosen. Human nature doesn't reward excess availability. Attraction isn't built on comfort, it's built on tension. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He saw what modern culture tries to hide. People are inconsistent, self-interested, and driven by perception. Power doesn't go to the most virtuous, it goes to the most deliberate. Strategy beats sincerity every time. You're here because you're exhausted. Exhausted from guessing. Exhausted from mixed signals and silent punishments. Exhausted from watching other men command attention without effort while you work endlessly for crumbs. It's not your face. It's not your money. It's not luck. It's your frame. In the next phase, we're going to dismantle everything you've been taught about attraction, connection, and emotional leverage. We'll take the cold efficiency of political strategy and apply it to relationships. No lines, no tricks, no performances. You'll be given 7 psychological shifts. Once they lock into place, manipulation stops working on you. But understand this, once you see how control operates, you can't unsee it. You'll notice the strings everywhere. If you're done being an admirer and ready to become the prize, stay with me. We start by dissecting the nice guy identity. Principle 1. The economics of absence value is created by scarcity. That's the rule everywhere, especially here. If oxygen were sold, you'd only pay when you were suffocating. Right now, you're unlimited supply, always reachable, always responsive, always available. You reply instantly. You rearrange your life the moment she shows interest. You think this proves commitment. Psychologically, it signals disposability. Machiavelli warned that familiarity erodes reverence. The more accessible a ruler becomes, the less authority he holds. Attraction follows the same law. Constant presence kills imagination, and imagination is the engine of desire. When you're gone, her mind works. She wonders where you are, who you're with, what has your attention, and in that uncertainty, she creates a version of you more compelling than reality. But you destroy that by being everywhere. This isn't about disappearing to punish. It's about having priorities that outrank her validation. When you're genuinely occupied, building, training, sharpening, your absence isn't a tactic, it's evidence. Women can sense the difference between a man pretending to be busy and a man whose life doesn't pause for anyone. Silence is where most men collapse. She takes hours to reply. You spiral. You double text. You explain. The disciplined man doesn't react. He returns to his work. He doesn't withhold attention to control. He simply doesn't leak anxiety. Humans chase what retreats. If you sprint toward her, instinct forces her to back away. So stop chasing, stand firm in your direction, walk toward your purpose, and watch how quickly the dynamic reverses. Absence isn't free, it's expensive. Principle 2. Emotional variance. The power of uncertainty. The human brain craves patterns, but it becomes numb to them fast. Predictability is comfortable, and comfort is boring. Think about gambling machines. If every pull guaranteed a win, you'd stop playing quickly. There's no thrill. The addiction comes from randomness. The near wins, the unexpected losses, the occasional jackpot. That uncertainty floods the brain with dopamine. Psychology calls this intermittent reinforcement, and it is one of the strongest conditioning mechanisms known. Most men are emotionally predictable, predictably agreeable, predictably reactive, predictably insecure. She knows exactly how to get a smile, an apology, or a reassurance out of you. You've become a solved equation, and no one obsesses over answers they already have. Machiavelli advised rulers to embody both force and cunning, to be intimidating when needed and elusive when required. Attraction follows the same rule. You need emotional range. If you're normally reserved, allow moments of sharp intensity. If you're usually warm, withdraw briefly into calm detachment. Not as punishment, not as manipulation, but as a reminder. Your energy isn't guaranteed, it's earned. When your reactions aren't automatic, she has to pay attention. She studies you. She adjusts. That focus, quiet, unconscious focus, is the seed of fixation. This is often mistaken for cruelty. It's not. It's sovereignty over your own emotional state. Most men mirror. She's happy. They're happy. She's distant. They panic. She's chaotic. They unravel. That makes her the driver and you the weather vane. Flip it. Become your own climate system. Calm when she's volatile. Content when she pulls away. Neutral when she expects reassurance. The moment she realizes she can't press a button and extract a response, the power balance shifts. She begins to wonder what you're thinking, and the moment she starts wondering, that's the moment control changes hands. Principle 3. Strategic validation. Holding the mirror. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Everyone is self-focused. Everyone. We all orbit our own identity first. Machiavelli understood that influence doesn't come from demanding attention. It comes from reflecting desire. Most men try to impress by talking about themselves, their work, their achievements, their ambitions. They think this project's value. What it actually reveals is hunger. The strategic move is silence paired with precision. You listen, not passively, but intensely. You ask questions no one else dares to ask. You don't skim the surface. You probe the architecture underneath. Why does that bother you so much? What are you actually afraid of losing? You act confident, but what are you protecting? When you speak to the parts of her she hides, you create a connection that feels rare, almost fated. She'll say she's never felt understood like this. What she's really feeling is herself, reflected clearly. You're not chasing her ego, you're holding it. But here's the leverage. You control the mirror. You decide when it's there and when it's gone. Deep validation is addictive. Withdrawal of validation creates pursuit. When you stop asking, stop focusing, stop reflecting her depth back at her, she'll feel the absence immediately. She won't chase you. She'll chase the version of herself she saw through you. Don't validate what every man validates. Not beauty, not surface traits. Validate effort. Validate restraint. Validate the shadow she doesn't show the world. Make her feel seen, but not owned. Exposed, but safe. That is intimacy. And intimacy, when regulated, is restraint disguised as connection. Principle 4. Remove the pedestal. You've been conditioned to worship. Stories, films, social narratives all told you women are flawless, elevated beings, something to earn, impress, and serve. This is the pedestal error. If you treat someone like royalty, you become the servant. If you see her as superior, she has no choice but to see you as lesser. Machiavelli insisted on seeing people as they are, not as we wish them to be. She is human, imperfect, inconsistent, capable of bad decisions and weak moments. When you idolize her, she feels your inferiority immediately, and attraction does not move downward. Putting her above you places you beneath her by your own choice. Destroy the pedestal. Disagree when you disagree. Tease without fear. Challenge without apology. A woman surrounded by men who nod at everything is jolted by the one who says calmly, "I don't see it that way." That signals self-trust. It signals internal authority. Respect can't exist without friction. Love cannot exist without respect. Stop apologizing for existing. Stop laughing when nothing's funny. Stop surrendering your standards for approval. Shift the question from, "Do I hope she likes me?" to, "Does she qualify for my attention?" That frame alone changes everything. Principle 5. The authority of silence. Machiavelli understood a brutal truth. The one who speaks less controls more. In negotiations, the first to fill silence loses. In conflict, the loudest voice exposes weakness. In attraction, over-explanation kills mystery. You explain too much because you fear being misunderstood. You send long messages because you want clarity. You justify yourself because you want approval. Stop. Every unnecessary word drains authority. Mystery cannot survive confession. If you unload your entire story early, you become a completed puzzle. Interesting for a moment, then shelved. Remain unfinished. Silence is not emptiness, it's pressure. When she tests you, provokes you, or looks for a reaction, offer nothing. Calm eyes, relaxed posture. Let the pause stretch. Discomfort will force her to speak. She'll explain. She'll seek alignment. Silence implies evaluation. It implies self-possession. It implies you are not reactive. You are selective. Never announce your value. Never declare boundaries. Enforce them quietly. Disrespect isn't debated. It's answered with distance. Authority is demonstrated, not discussed. Master the pause. 3 seconds before responding. Eye contact, breath, then speak. That gap alone fractures her expectations and gives weight to every word that follows. Principle 6. The readiness to leave. This is the final weapon, and the only one that cannot be faked. The absolute willingness to walk away. Machiavelli warned against dependence. The man who needs goodwill is owned by it. The man who can lose everything without collapsing is untouchable. If you need her, she controls you. If you prefer her but don't require her, nothing controls you. Most men stay where they're disrespected because they fear emptiness. They accept manipulation, inconsistency, and mediocrity because loneliness terrifies them more than self-betrayal. Power begins the moment you internalize this truth. There are countless options, but only one you. This isn't performance. Women sense bluff instantly. You must actually build a life so grounded, so purpose-driven, so full that losing her registers as inconvenience, not devastation. When she knows you'll open the door without hesitation if boundaries are crossed, she doesn't test them. She relaxes, because structure feels safe. Weak boundaries create anxiety. Strong boundaries create peace. She wants leadership, but only from a man who knows his direction with or without her. This is the paradox. You only keep what you're willing to lose. Clutch sand and it escapes. Open your hand and it stays. Build the kingdom. If she wants to stand beside you, she follows its laws. If not, the gate remains open. That energy, self-contained, uncompromising, is magnetic. A man who cannot be controlled becomes the one everyone wants influence over. And failing that, the one they willingly submit to. The final inversion, you clicked for power over her. But notice the pattern: absence, emotional control, silence, standards, walking away. None of this is about controlling her. It's about mastering yourself. You failed before because you were ruled by impulse, by desire, validation-seeking, fear of isolation. When those inner masters are overthrown, something changes. You stop pulling. Gravity forms around you. She doesn't submit to force. She submits to order. Not to anger, but to stillness. Control isn't gripping tighter. It's calming the mind. The most grounded element in the room becomes the center everything orbits. That's not manipulation. That's physics. So don't go play games. Govern yourself with discipline. Kill the nice guy. He's weak and dishonest. Give birth to the prince. Calm, exact, unmovable. The throne was never outside you. If you're done begging and ready to rule, write it. I choose power. The next step goes deeper. You've learned how to stand. Next, you learn how to move. Don't miss it.